cocktails consist of my branched chains I've got in here I still need to shake up. And today I'm gonna do legs, so I'm gonna switch it up and have a pre-workout. And I am gonna do my Vasky combo. That's just a non-stim pump inducer. That is like the best one out there to get pump going for ladies as well. And then Ruckus is one of my favorite pre-workouts from MTS Nutrition, and this flavor is grape and it's super tasty. Morning guys, I am sitting in front of Well Rounded. I'm about to go in to hit up my leg workout. I've got a little bit of my pre-workout left I'm still sipping on. One of the things I like to do sometimes is sit in my car for a little bit and do some of my client check-ins. I feel like really fortunate sometimes that I do get the chance to work with clients because it seriously motivates me so much. Like, I love waking up in the morning and sometimes that's just what gets me to the gym to have a killer workout, is looking at those check-ins and, you know, hearing how hard the people that are working with me are working, the things they have going on, their families, their jobs, the demands in their life, their stressors, and yet they get up and they put in the hard work every day without a competition at the end of the line. I mean, I do have some competition clients as well, but you know what I mean? It's just really like, it wakes me up in the morning. So that's like one little trick that I have sometimes if I like wake up and I'm like, I don't want to move, blah, blah, blah. I just start looking at my client emails and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So I'm gonna head in and hit up some legs. My legs basically have been sore since I started prep because I've been kicking their ass. And they're like been leaning out since I started prep. So my body's definitely leaning out much differently than it has in past preps, which fine by me. So my husband thinks he's really funny and wanted to scare me, so this is what I found in my gym bag. He put a fucking rat in my gym bag. I think I'm gonna try to scare him with it. You want your rat? Still getting ready for work. Ew, a banana. I've got some rice heating in the microwave. Thought I'd show you guys real quick what I'm bringing to work with me. There's a fly on my ceiling. Okay. For work today is going to consist of the psyllium husk pancake. This recipe is on my YouTube. This recipe cred goes to Danica. I did not create this. She saved my life with that recipe. I've got 2 meals of, well, I've got in here chicken with asparagus, those little sweet crunchy peppers, and some coconut oil, and like a sugar-free teriyaki sauce. Actually, I think I might have to refrigerate this after. My mom gave this to me, and it's delicious. I tried it on salmon. I really like it, and yes, I do need to put that in the fridge. So that's one meal. I've got in here more chicken with asparagus and jasmine rice. I'm gonna add some more jasmine rice to it. I've got organic ground beef with some sugar-free ketchup, Potatoes, I've just been loving white potatoes. Strawberries, toasted marshmallow Greek yogurt, and I'm about to also eat a big bowl of bran flakes. What I've been liking to do is add to half a scoop of MTS Blueberry Whey to a cup of cashew milk, and that's my cereal milk, and it's delish. So I'm gonna eat that, finish getting my meals ready, head to work. Hey guys, I am just finishing up my lunch break. I went to the mall to meet a friend, have some coffee. I had a delicious chocolate something coffee. I forgot, like chocolate coconut, I don't know, with I had a little Splenda and a splash of almond milk in there. Super titties, delicious, good lunch combo, and now I am headed back to work to finish out my work day, get some shit done. So this is just everyday life kind of stuff when you're working throughout the week. For me to balance it all, it's now 5:30ish, and before I drive off, I am gonna head back to the gym this morning. This morning I lifted legs. My leg workout got a little bit weird because there was a group workout class on the floor, so I kind of didn't get to do my normal thing. So there's a couple extra leg movements I want to hit tonight and do some cardio. But before I do that, I am sitting here on my phone answering some of my client check-ins from today. I, don't want to wait till I get home at night because since I am training and prepping right now, I get home a bit later. So, I'm going to answer some of my emails and then head to the gym. Hopefully keep it quick, and then, I'll discuss in the next clip a little bit more about what I want to talk about, the title of this video. What's up guys, I am home from the gym, workouts are done for the day, and I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that is extremely popular, I get emails about constantly, and that is emotional eating. And I would say that's probably the number one thing I get emails about, and probably most popular, I guess, is the typical email that I don't know what to do, I went over my macros, I had a moment, I don't know why, a couple spoonfuls of peanut butter, or I got into the ice cream, and what do I do now? I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do, how do I fix this? Do I restrict tomorrow? Do I do extra cardio? Should I adjust macros for the entire week? So this is the number one question I get. So I'm gonna answer that first and foremost. The day after you feel like you've emotionally ate, had a binge, go over macros, however you want to label it, I recommend you do not do anything different the following day. Don't do anything different to try to make up for it. Reason being is when you do that, it's almost as if you're punishing yourself for what just happened. And that's never gonna help heal and repair this relationship with food, causing the emotional eating. So first and foremost, it can be very difficult. I understand the struggle to wanna fix it, make it better the next day, but don't do that. Just start fresh with a better attitude the next day. That's gonna be hard to do, I get it, but I'm gonna give you a few more tips that I've written down to kind of help guide you along this path. Remember, this isn't stuff that happens overnight. If you're someone that's struggled with emotional eating for a long time, these are things to think about and take the time to start to process and work on. So tip number one is don't abandon yourself. When we emotionally eat, the reason why we're emotionally eating is usually not because we're hungry. It's usually because we're experiencing some kind of discomfort or some type of feelings that we don't want to feel. When we eat and emotionally eat, it kind of provides this like numbing sensation for us, this sense of temporary relief. That's all it does for us. You need to allow yourself to feel the feelings you're having. Whether it's happy, sad, guilt, anger, stress, you name it, but you need to just kind of invite those feelings in and say to yourself, it's okay that I'm feeling this way right now. It's okay that I'm stressed out. It's okay that I'm bored. It's okay that I'm angry or disappointed in myself. And try to recognize those emotions. And it can be hard to not just start going through the cupboards and start trying to eat your emotions. So what I encourage you to do when you start feeling like that is to take a few minutes and allow yourself to process things. And everyone processes their feelings differently. For me, I learned over the past year, if I was having those stressful feelings that made me want to emotionally eat, the way that I kind of worked through it was journaling. I always kept a small journal in my purse when I was having a stressful day, a moment, whatever, and I could just like kind of start to feel it boiling within me. Like sometimes you can feel it happening. I would just kind of journal out my feelings. Or if I was like, F this, I want a candy bar. No, I would make myself first sit down, write down how I was feeling and why, and go through those motions. And a lot of times that would really, really help me. So be kind to yourself during that process. It's hard to feel feelings. I know that's a weird statement, but it is hard. So that's something that you need to kind of work through. My second tip with emotional eating is kind of learning how to maintain the pleasure principle, if you will. So we need pleasure in our lives, right? And for most people, food provides us a heck of a lot of pleasure. So we need to find other ways to kind of satisfy that urge for pleasure in our lives. And so think about things that you get enjoyment out of that are non-food related. I like to fake online shop. All right, I'm a fake online shopper. If I'm having a day, if I'm having a moment, I'm stressed, I need to get that urge out somehow. Find a good store, go to Victoria's Secret, start throwing shit in your cart and you don't end up buying it, but it just kind of gets your mind off things. It's fun. Sometimes for me, just like a hot shower really helps. For me, I like getting a lame, cheesy like celebrity magazine that's way overpriced, but it's kind of mindless. It gets my mind off things. It provides me some pleasure, all right? So you need to kind of identify what things provide you pleasure that are non-food related and find ways to incorporate that through your days. Every day you should be doing something that you find pleasurable. Learning how to maintain that relationship with food and still have it be a pleasurable experience, but also not to abuse that experience. And that's where learning how to do mindful eating comes into play. Again, not something you can just learn overnight, but starting to focus on paying attention to your food. When you sit down to eat a meal, are you actually focusing on the meal, or are you doing 7 other things at the same time? Are you reading? Are you studying? Are you on your cell phone? Are you in front of the TV even? When's the last time you just sat down and enjoyed your meal? And with that, actually tasted the food and slowed down and smelled it and tasted it and thought about it and appreciated it. So mindful eating can be extremely helpful with breaking that emotional eating cycle. Tip 3 is eat when you're hungry. It sounds like a simple tip, but we all struggle with eating when we're truly hungry. And funny enough, or interestingly enough, I should say, emotional eaters tend to not eat when they're physically hungry. We, as emotional eaters, tend to ignore it. You get up in the morning, you've got 30 things you've got to do throughout the day, so you just kind of tend to ignore eating for hunger. If you can avoid it by doing other things, you just avoid it. And that usually doesn't end up working out well. For each and every fad diet that's out there, there's an opposite binge, there's going to be some type of binge that occurs typically. Thinking about eating real nourishing foods and getting them in throughout the day. One thing I will share is, this past year I learned for myself, getting myself back on track with like consistent meals and eating more regularly. When I wasn't really being mindful of how I was eating, I didn't eat that much throughout the day. Like I could go a long time without eating, eat one meal, maybe eat something at night and be good. And I wasn't losing any weight like that. I wasn't seeing any progress, and I sure as shit wasn't feeling that healthy or good. So when I got myself back to regularly scheduled meals, incorporating healthy, nourishing foods, that just kind of made the whole process of emotional eating easier. I didn't struggle with it as much. Trying to find a way to get back in tune with your hunger, knowing when you're actually hungry, and accepting that and being okay with fueling your body. There's no reason why you shouldn't be eating when you're hungry. So listen to your body, fuel it with nourishing foods, and it will make it easier. A lot of people, like I said, ignore it all day long and then That's when the overeating happens at night. So you're better off trying to fuel yourself throughout the day. My next tip is prepare yourself for a possible binge or overeating. And by doing that, how do you prepare for that? You learn what your triggers are. So, if you can think back to a recent time that you overate, you emotionally ate, you had a binge, what kind of led up to that moment? Or what was going on that day? There was probably something that happened in that day that triggered you. A lot of people, it can be the weight on the scale. If you step on the scale, you don't see what you like, that can trigger the whole day to be screwed up. Maybe someone at work made a comment to you didn't like. Maybe you were feeling overly stressed. Maybe you came home and your husband or wife didn't do the dishes. Anything like that can be a trigger. So kind of start to recognize what things trigger you in that way that you start to eat, emotionally. And as soon as you can learn those triggers, you can start to problem shoot how to handle those differently and just strategize different techniques that you can put in place versus reaching for food. That all it's going to do is provide for you that temporary numbness. And then what's going to happen afterwards? We all know it. You feel worse afterwards. The feelings you were trying to numb, they're still there, guys. And then on top of it, you feel like crap because you just ate, maybe screwed up your diet, and then you have that guilt associated with food, and it really shouldn't be a guilty experience. My last tip for you guys, and these are all tough tips, but hopefully they're helpful to you and you can utilize some of them, is to start with acknowledging your own beauty. And for me, this is something that also really helped me this past year, is acknowledging that you're worth it, acknowledging that you should honor your body's request to eat when you're hungry, and just feel like you deserve it and you're worth it. And those are powerful statements that so many, I feel like I'm speaking more to women, and this may apply to some guys, but looking in the mirror and feeling like you're beautiful with where you're at today, right now, not feeling the need to have to punish yourself. I think we constantly feel like we have to punish ourselves when we're not being perfect, or we look in the mirror and we're not where we think we should be, or we're not where the girl next to us is, and we're so mean to ourselves. And honestly, guys, that's not going to help you with your weight loss goals. You can hire a dietitian, you can go to a doctor, you can go to hypnotherapy, you can do any Looney Tunes stuff you want to do. But if you don't start with first learning how to love yourself and love yourself where you're at today, I guarantee you're not going to get to where you need to be. It's not to say that loving yourself means you can't have goals you want to work on, or pounds you want to lose, or things you want to achieve in your life. You can, that's fine, but you have to at some point accept yourself, accept who you are, love yourself, and I guarantee you that will make the entire process easier. And now how do you get there? Like, how do I just wake up and love myself tomorrow? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes work, It takes self-assessment and development. It takes, figuring out what makes you happy in life, what you love about yourself, maybe changing a few things so you're happier. It takes work, right? And sometimes that's scary. We don't want to sit down and really critique ourselves in that way, but why can't you get up tomorrow and look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful the way I am, I love my body, I am so thankful for getting up every day and having this body I live in, and just putting things into perspective. I think that's just really helpful and will help you in your weight loss goals. So those are some tips for you guys. Digest those. Let me know what you think about that. I have plenty more tips on that, so we can discuss that more in future videos. If you find this helpful, it really helps me out, guys, if you hit that thumbs up button so I know you like it, as well as sharing this video with others so other people can find my channel and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this daily vlog and little talk on emotional eating, and I will be back for more videos, so comment below and I will see you in the next one.